Hi everyone, in this video we will discuss all the questions of chapter 12, that is Computer Networks Part 2, and we will discuss all the type B questions. So before discussing all the questions, we should understand what is error detection by two-dimensional event parity. So to do that, you have to arrange the data bits in a form of matrix in a table of bits. This data which you want to send. Now calculate the parity bits for each row and each column by placing 10 bit or 1 bit so that you will have even number of 1 bits across each row and each column. Now transmit the data unit along with the row parity bits and column parity bits all together. That means it will be considered as a whole data. Now at receiver's end, the receiver knows that the data is associated with the parity bits. So it will just take data part excluding the parity bits, and it will again calculate the parity bits for this data. Now if it will match with the parity bits which are sent by the sender, then it will consider that the data is error free. Or else if it will not match, then that means the data is erroneous. That means some bits are not seen which are sent by the user. So this is the thing which will be done at the sender's end. Sender will create the actual data. So this is the actual data which will be arranged in the form of matrix. So here you can see there are 3 rows and there are 7 columns. That means in each row there are 7 bits of data is there. Now the sender will calculate the parity bits for each row and each column. So you can see in our first row there are 4 1 bits. That means even number of 1 bits are there. So it will just add one 0 bit at the end of the row for first row. And for the second row you can see there are also 4 1 bits. So one 0 bit will be added. In a third row you can see there are 7 1 bits. So to make it even number, it will add one more 1 bit. The same thing will be done for each column. First column you can see 3 odd bits are there, so it will put one more 1 bit. Like this it will be done. So parity bits will be created. Now this whole data will be sent to the receiver. Now the receiver end, the received data will be again recalculated for the parity bits. So I can see the first picture. So this is the data which is sent by the sender to the receiver. So receiver will just separate the parity bits. You can see that the green colored bits are the parity bits which the receiver separated. Now he will calculate the parity bits once again for this data, and he will find that yes, it is the same parity bits which are sent by the sender. Now we will come to know that the received data and the recalculated data are same. They match with each other. That means there is no error in the data bits. Data is not corrupted during the transmission, so it will be accepted. Now this is a second case. Now suppose this is the data which is received by the receiver. You can see the received data where the all bits are in a black color. Now the receiver will recalculate the parity bits for this data. Now after recalculating, it will find that there are some mismatching bits in the parity bits. Like in a first row, you can see there are 3 1 bits. So the parity bit should be 1 bit, but there is actually a 0 bit. Similarly, in a second row also, the parity bit should be a 1 bit to make it even, but there is actually a 0 bit. Similarly, for the third column, you can see the parity bit should be a 0 bit, but there is a 1 bit. In the fourth column also, the parity bit should be a 1 bit, but there is a 0 bit. So you can see the bits which are not matching with the, which is actually not this, it's not giving the same result after recalculation. Those bits are highlighted in red color. So these are the mismatched bits, parity bits. So from that, the receiver will come to know that there is some problem in the data. That means the data got corrupted during transmission. So this data will be rejected. Now the first question is to find the erroneous bits in the transmitted data using two-dimensional even parity check. So for that we have already discussed these two cases earlier, in that the first case the same as the question number 1. So here the received data is same as the recalculated data. So there are no errors maybe. But there is another possibility is also there. That means if the data has 4 or more erroneous bits, that means there are 4 bits or more than 4 bits which are like changed, or some problem, some error is there in those bits, then we will not be able to detect that error. So two-dimensional even parity will not able to detect the errors which are caused by more than 4 bits. So it can detect up to 3 erroneous bits. So there can be two possibilities, like either the data has no erroneous bits or it has 4 or more than 4 erroneous bits, because the received data is same as the recalculated data. Now find the erroneous bits in the transmitted data using two-dimensional even parity check. Now see, this is the received data. You can see a matrix of bits over there, and at the receiver's end the parity bits will be recalculated. As you know, the last column and the last row represents the parity bit. So you can see in our first row there are 4 1 bits are there, and the parity bit is 0 bit. So that is correct. In our second row there are 5 1 bits are there, and the parity bit should be 1 bit to make it even, but there is a 0 bit. So that means there is some error in the second row. The third row also, there's supposed to be 1 0 bit, because there are 6 number of 1 bits in a third row. So you can put 1 0 bit over there, but actually there is 1 bit. So those are all red colored bits are the, like, showing that it's not matching with the parity bits which are sent by the, which are received by the receiver. So similarly, the second column you can see, in the third column, you can see there are two 1 bits. So the parity bit should be 0, but here it is 1 instead. So these are the errors. That means the parity bits are not matching, which are sent by the sender. Now the next thing is you have to locate the erroneous bits. As you know, the particular rows and particular columns for which the parity bits are not matching with the parity bits which are received, so we can just say that the errors are there in those particular rows and columns. So to find the erroneous bits, check the mismatched parity bits along the row and column. The bits present at the same row or column in data matrix contain the erroneous bits. Now to solve the next question, we should know how to detect error by checksum method. So to do that, you have to arrange the data bits in a form of K into M matrix, K cross M matrix, where K is the number of segments and M is the number of bits in each segment. So the K segments are added using 1's complement. That means the extra bit will be added back to the sum. Then after getting the final sum, complement it to get the checksum. Now transmit the data segments along with checksum. At receiver's end, all data segments are added using 1's complement. That means the extra bit will be wrapped around to get the new sum. And this, if this new sum, when added to the checksum and complemented and producing all zeros, then there is no error. It is accepted. If the result is not all zeros, then there is error and it is rejected. Now let's see how to find it out. So before that, we should discuss some of the binary addition rules. As you know, 0 plus 1 will produce 1, 1 plus 0 will give you 1, 0 plus 0 is 0, and 1 plus 1 is 1, 0. This is the binary addition rule. Now we will just take some two examples. That means we are adding 101 plus 011. So here you can see first addition will take place from right, just like any normal addition. So 1 plus 1 will give you 1 0. So 0 will be there and 1 will be carry. Now the next one will be added to this one, producing 1 0. 0 will be there and next one will be carried. Now this carry 1 plus 1 will give you again 1 0. So the result is 1 0 1 plus 0 1 1 is 1 0 0 0. Similarly, if you add 0 1 1 plus 1 1 1, then you can say 1 plus 1 will give you 0. 1 0, 0 will be there and 1 will be carried. Now 1 plus 1 will give you 1 0, 0 will be here, which will be added to 1 and give you 1, and the rest 1 will be taken as the carry. Now this 1 plus 1 will give you 1 0. So result is 1 0 1 0. So this is how binary addition is done. Now here we have to do that addition where the extra bit has to be added back. That means the wraparound will be done. So you see how to do this. We will just do one example, that is 1101 plus 1011. You can see 1 plus 1 is 0 1. Sorry, 1 0 and 0 will be there and 1 will be taken as carry. Then 1 plus 1 is 0, 1 will be carry. 1 plus 1 is 0, 1 will be carry, and 1 plus 1 plus 1 will be, that is 1 0, 1 will be carried, and 0 plus 1 1. Then you can see one extra bit is there in the left side. So we will just take it out and we will again add it to rest of the bits. So 1000 plus 1 will become 1001. So our aim is to keep the number of bits same because we are doing addition of two 4-bit numbers. So the result should be in 4 bits only. The extra fifth bit that got generated in the left side, that will come and it will be added back to the result. So this type of addition we have to do to calculate the checksum. Now data received by a device is as given below. The data has been sent with a checksum, and find out if the received data is correct or not. So you can see this is the block of data where there are 4 data segments you can see and 16 bits of data in each segment. And the final row, which is the highlighted bits, that is the checksum. So this is the whole thing which is received by the receiver. Now the receiver will check whether it is correct or not. Now to do that, first of all, the data bits will be added together. All the data bits in all the 4 segments will be added. So first 2 data segments are added like this. You have to just write one row after the second one. Then you just have to add it by using this binary addition. So you can see here this is the result, and there is one bit is there in the left side which will be wrap around and which will be added back and giving this result. Now again, this result that you got by adding first 2 segments of bits, that has to be added with the third data segment. And you can see all the blue colored ones are the carries. So you have to just go through this additions and you'll get the result like this. Now this has to be added with the fourth data segment. Now whatever result you got after adding all the 3 data segments, that has to be added with the fourth data segment, and once that is added and the extra bits got added again, and you are getting the result as 0010, 0101, 0111 and 1110. Now this result has to be like this result is the result that you got, that's the sum of the bits that has to be added with the checksum. The checksum was there in a green color, the highlighted at the last row represents the checksum bits, and we will add this new sum with the checksum bits, and you can see that after addition you can get the result as 1111, then 1111, 1101 and 1110. Now we have to complement that one. After complementing, you can see that you are not getting all zeros. There are some 2 1 bits are there. So that means there is some problem in this data. While transmission, the data got corrupted. So the receiver will not accept this data. It will be rejected. Now consider the following network map showing how routers of various networks are connected. Prepare routing table for any routers of your choice. So you can see there are 6 routers having name A, B, C, D, E, F. So there is a connection between A to B, A to D, and there's a direct connection from A to C also. Now C to F, C to E like this. So routing table is that means we will find out the shortest distance between any two routers. So we can just draw a routing table for some 2 or 3 routers like this. Now we will construct the routing table for 3 routers, router C, router A and router F. As you can see here, there are 3 columns in the routing table. The first column is the destination router and the cost involved to reach that destination, and the next hop, that means by which router it has to go through in which path. So here we will draw the routing table for the router C. As you can see here, the destinations are A, B, D, E and F as per the diagram shown in the question. So from C to reach the router A, there is cost is 1. That means there is a direct connection from C to A. The next hop is A. And the next destination is router B, and that cost is also 1 because there is a direct connection from router C to router B, and the next hop is B. And the destination is D, that means to reach router D, router C has to cross 2 states. So the cost is 2. And the next hop is B, that means it can go through B. And the other 2 routers are E and F. So to reach them, the cost is 1 and the next stop is E and F respectively. Similarly, we have drawn the routing table for the router A. So from A to B, you can see the cost is 1 because there is a direct connection from A to B, and the next hop is B. Similarly, from A to C, to reach C, there is a direct connection from A to C. So the cost is 1 and the next hop is C. And the next one is the destination router is D. So from C, it will just take 1 hop. So the cost is 1. Next hop is also D. Now from A to F. So from A to F, it can go through uh, like A, D, E, F also it can go, and A, B, C, F also it can go, but there is a direct connection from A to C. So the shortest distance can be A to C and C to F. So the cost is 2 and the next router is C. Now the routing table for the router F, you can see from F to A, destination is A, so the cost is 2. So it can go to, from F it can go to C, then from C to A. So the next stop is C. And from F, the destination is B. So there is also like 2 hops are there. From F it can go to C, then from C it can go to B. So the cost is 2 and the next stop is C. Now from F to C, there is a direct path. It can go directly, so the cost is 1. The next stop is C. Similarly, from F to D, the cost is 2 because it has to take 2 steps. From F, it will go to E, then D. So the next stop is E. Now to reach the router E, there's a direct connection from router F to router E. So the cost is 1. The next stop is E. So this is how you can draw the routing table for any of the routers which are given in the network. Now here is the solutions of chapter 12, and we have discussed all the type B questions of chapter computer networks part 2. And if there is any doubt, then you can put it in comment section, and stay tuned for more solutions and do subscribe. Thank you.